Well, isn't it surprising how some things turn out sometimes? It would appear that whatever tightness we've been feeling when I tried turning this engine might have been something to do with the gearbox, but certainly I think actually the main shaft. Yes, that sleeve gear is turning freely, but I can't really turn that one much, so I think we're going to be looking in the gearbox for the tightness. But the amazingly good news is just how good the engine bottom end side of things is, and we've got the timing side bush in there. I haven't actually taken accurate measurements, but I'm pretty confident that it's on standard, that bush and the journal on the crank. And the better news is the bush is in very good condition. It's got a sort of used look about it, but not a worn look, so I'd be tempted to leave that well alone, seeing as the journal on the crank is so nice and smooth and clean as well. No need to go disturbing things for the sake of it. The big ends, they're in reasonably good shape, those shells, and the journals are excellent, and they're on -20. I think for peace of mind I'd probably want to change the shells, because there's no real wear on them, but there is a little bit of degradation, I suppose you might call it. There's sort of pock markings on some of them. That one there, for instance, in line with the oil hole that's not used, because obviously it's in the cap. There's a little bit of something going on there, which makes me feel I'd like to change the big end shells just for good measure. So a new set of -20s would do, because the big end journals are good. I've got them all wrapped up. I cleaned everything because I've had the sludge trap out, and also that wasn't peppered in punch marks and came out quite easily, which is a nice refreshing change. And there was a bit of muck in the sludge trap, but nothing to get too alarmed about or too excited about. It's clean now. Everything, all this is done, and the flywheel bolt is torqued to the 30 pounds as it should be, so that's all ready for whatever happens next. So I need to speak to the owner and see if he'd like some new conrods, or whether he'd like to carry on with these. A few more questions. We've also got a ball bearing in the drive side crankcase, so it could be an earlier one, because later ones had a roller bearing in them, but it feels good, it feels sound. No end float with those to worry about. So time to speak to the owner, but the bottom end of this engine is surprisingly good compared with what I was expecting when it arrived here and what I was told about it, so that's very promising indeed.